When in Hollywood, more often than not, looks mean everything. And sometimes, as humans age, the wrinkles and sagging skin become too much for celebrities who want to maintain their youth. And so here I've compiled a list of the top 10 celebrities who've gotten so much work done that they're basically ageless, and sometimes not in a good way. First up, we've got Yolanda Hadid. The mother of supermodels Gigi and Bella Hadid, Yolanda herself was a top-notch model who is now known for being extremely strict on her daughters. She disapproves of them doing sports for fear of them getting too bulky, or eating any processed foods whatsoever. Obviously, as a model, her whole career revolves around how she looks, so it's no surprise that she's gotten some work done to try and fight the effects of gravity and time. Yolanda is 58 and looks like she could be in her 40s thanks to her strict regime of Botox and fillers. She's gotten facelifts and Botox done to her cheeks to try and keep her skin taut. That being said, she's thinking of ceasing all surgeries as she wants to maintain a certain level of bodily health. Quote, living in a body free of breast implants, fillers, Botox, extension, and all the bull I thought I needed in order to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe what a sexy woman should look like until the toxicity of it all almost killed me. Next up is Gwyneth Paltrow, who looks absolutely amazing, especially when you consider that she is 47 years old. While not an old age by any means, if she told me she was in her 30s, I'd have absolutely no trouble believing her. While obviously a lot of this stuff is genetic, there's also some work that Paltrow has admitted to getting done in order to help her defy age. She's spoken at length about her Botox injections and how they've helped her maintain her ageless face. But on top of that, she's also done some extremely strict facials. Paltrow has reportedly willingly let herself get stung by bees in the hopes of attempting to maintain youth. It's a form of acupuncture that basically replaces needles with live bee stings, which is extremely dangerous and life-threatening, by the way. In fact, one woman in Spain sadly passed away after attempting this form of acupuncture because Gwyneth had marketed it as a natural Botox. I think it's the actual Botox in her face that's doing the heavy lifting here, not the bee stings. Next on the list is Chen Moonves, the host of Big Brother. The first surgery that Chen got was when she was 25 years old. Although not to defy age, Julie underwent the extremely painful procedure to get rid of her monolid eyes. She did so because of pressure from television networks who thought that her Asian eye shape made her look disinterested, and so sadly she gave into racism and surgically changed her eye shape. While that is a completely different circumstance, she has also, in more recent years, admitted to getting Botox to continue to achieve her high and youthful cheekbones. To retain her age-defying facial features, she's continued to Botox her face occasionally on top of a very strict veggie-based diet. Next up is Amanda Lepore. The celebrity trans beauty queen is almost known more now for her extensive surgeries she's undergone to achieve what she considers to be the perfect look. The nightclub lover has undergone tons of surgeries, including butt injections with silicone, a nose job, a forehead lift, a hairline lowered. She regularly pumps her cheeks with fillers, and she's had her breasts enhanced 3 separate times. To accentuate her hourglass figure, Amanda has even had her bottom ribs broken and pushed in as a way to make her waistline appear smaller and her hips broader. For that procedure, Miss Lepore traveled to Mexico, since few doctors will even perform the operation in the United States. Her latest procedure included a laser treatment designed to make the skin around her jaw tighter. Quote, it's like a facelift, but you don't get cut. People love to hate Amanda, I think because she's everything that represents the rich and famous, but scaled up 10 times bigger and bolder, especially because she's been in the spotlight for so long for reasons untold. Kinda like the Kardashians. Next on the list is the Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose. While he has cemented himself as one of the greats in the musical lexicon, in an attempt to defy aging, his face shape has certainly changed over the years. Particularly, Axl has reportedly gotten cheek implants to avoid gravity alongside a facelift. Especially as Axl gets older, he's starting to shy away from the role as a sex pot in the rock and roll scene, so it's no wonder that he would want to try and retain some of the beauty from his youth. Although I personally think that accepting age is one of the most beautiful things one can do with their body, who am I to argue with one of the greatest musicians of all time? Next up is Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is looking a little worse for wear lately in a way that has nothing to do with age. Well, I guess it kind of does if you think about how it's basically because of a very obvious facelift. The musician who rose to fame with his art rock band Kiss has also gotten a nose job to give his profile more definition as time starts to sink in. The eyebrows are looking kinda rough, not gonna lie. I liked when they were a bit lower on him, but now with the facelift, it just kinda makes him look a bit more odd. than if he were to just leave his face alone. He just turned 70 a few months ago and isn't shy talking about all the surgeries he's had to endure as a result of the roughness of decades on stage. Just recently, he had to get another shoulder surgery due to an injury, on top of the 8 he's already had. Although that hardly has to do with age, I do feel for the man. Next up is Donatella Versace, the mogul fashion designer who changed the game. While once a naturally stunning woman, her face shape has changed extensively over the years, and as it stands, she's hardly recognizable from her former self. Around the early 2000s, we started to see Donatella go from fresh-faced and vibrant to plasticky, and nowadays she more closely resembles a wax figure than she does a human being. She's undergone multiple facelifts, consistent botox, lip fillers, and I'm sure tons more in an attempt to escape wrinkles, but also to combat her near constant sunbathing that she refuses to stop despite knowing the effects of the dangers it can do to your skin and to speed up the aging process. Next up is Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was a hilarious woman who didn't shy away from her bout with cosmetic surgery. Getting an eye lift when she was only 35 years old, she's been trying to escape age before it even really had an effect on her. She also had some facelifts, a very noticeable nose job, and a few eyebrow lifts. In a tribute to the star when she passed, supposed comedian Lena Dunham tweeted out cheekily in a joke that I'm sure Joan would have loved, quote, "Joan is gone, but a piece of her lives on. Her nose, because it's made of polyurethane." Joan once joked, quote, "I've had so much plastic surgery, when I die, they will donate my body to Tupperware." Rivers stated that she wants to look as young as possible into her old age, to the point that her plastic surgeon would send her home sometimes if she showed up too frequently to her Botox sessions. I kind of love her, and even more so for being so open about the surgery she's done to achieve an age-defying look, even in death. The famed prop comedian Carrot Top looks extremely different from his youth in an attempt to banish the wrinkles and signs of aging from his face. He's achieved a surgically enhanced, excessively arched brow and an extremely smooth face. The smooth face likely comes from laser treatments and chemical peels to keep it extremely tight and lacking any of the sagging we all see as time goes on. In reference to these surgeries, one doctor stated, quote, "At least it's appeared he's left his eyelids alone, although maybe they're next." And now last on my list is Jocelyn Wildenstein, who looks so unlike a human these days that she's been dubbed the Catwoman, and not because she looks like Zoe Kravitz. Jocelyn is a New York City socialite who went from natural stunner to, as she aged, a refusal to let time take hold, as she has had countless surgeries that have her appearing almost alien-like. Most notably, she's done her eyes and lips up so extensively, tons of facelifts and Botox. It's hard to see the natural face she once had under there, although I'd probably call this more of a medical obsession than dabbling in youthfulness, as it borderlines addiction levels of surgeries, so be nice in the comments. Well folks, that's all I've got today for 10 celebrities who've stopped aging with plastic surgery. Let me know if I missed anyone in the comments down below. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I've been your host Sierra. See you next time.